Hello everybody, it's Lucy Wolfe here, sleep consultant and author of the Baby Sleep Solution. Today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about short naps, because I know that that's a big issue for a lot of parents. And again, just like anything that I do, I try to clarify a few things. First of all, your young baby under age 6 months of age, if they're typically not sleeping for long durations, we actually don't consider that to be an issue or a problem that requires intervention. Very often the child's nap rhythm is not established until they're beyond 6 months of age, and so all they can actually do for you is short naps. And what you need to try and do then is provide a series of naps for your young baby, and then you can be working behind the scenes, which I speak about an awful lot here, about trying to establish my percentage of wakefulness approach and getting your timing right. When your baby is older than 6 months plus, again, we do feel that a longer nap tendency is achievable. But again, I still want to put that in context, because very often I hear about some nap durations like 2-hour naps. And for me, I think a 2-hour nap is a little bit like a unicorn. They're not that realistic. So I suppose for me, I'm looking for a nap to be at least 40-45 minutes long, and then I'm looking for another nap to be maybe at least an hour plus in duration, and I'm looking for a balance between your daytime sleep. So again, a couple of reasons behind short napping tendencies that you might experience. The first contributing factor would be that your nap is being attempted when your baby is already overtired, and overtiredness probably makes up the largest part of lots of the sleep challenges that you experience. And overtiredness is almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your baby is awake a lot overnight, the nap is attempted when they're already overtired. Because they're awake a lot overnight, the nap is short, and you get through the day on that basis. So again, the first thing you need to try and do is get to your baby's body for a nap before it becomes overtired. So of course, overtired symptoms are intense eye rubbing, big type yawning, agitation, clenching fists, stretching limbs, arching the back. And what you're really trying to do is try to get to your baby before you see those symptoms. Very often parents will report that they don't see early cues, which might be brief eye rubs, brief yawns, moments of quiet. All they ever see are the later cues. And again, if that's the case, then I'd recommend that you go a little bit earlier than before. Make a note and go 10 minutes or 20 minutes before you typically would see the early sleep clues. I sometimes work off a time basis, so if babies are under 8 and 9 months, I might just start in the beginning, just preparing for naps an hour and 40 minutes throughout the course of the day, just so that I hedge my bets and I beat them to it before they become overtired. Getting to your baby before they're super overtired will not turn your nap magically into a longer nap duration, but it will open up the airways for that to start to happen. The second reason behind a lot of short nap durations actually is because bedtime is too late. So often families are surprised to hear that bedtime, I suggest that bedtime holds all the cards. So bedtime holds all the cards in terms of your ability to stay asleep in the overnight period, but actually the time that bedtime happens also has a big impact on how the naps go by day. So if bedtime's slightly on the late side, and again, for me, for children who are not routinely sleeping through the night and they're older than 6 months of age, I consider anything after 7 o'clock to almost be too late, if I'm honest with you. And again, bringing forward bedtime, even if it's just a temporary adjustment, will unlock the daytime mechanism for sleep, and it will give you a better chance of sleeping longer during the day for at least one of the daytime sleeps that you have. Sometimes an irregular feeding schedule will also complement the short napping duration. So if your baby is routinely feeding little and often, if somehow your baby is 6-8 months plus and you're still feeding 1 to 2 or 3 hourly throughout the course of the day for whatever reason, this also will also lend itself to short nap durations, because your baby will look to graze a little bit throughout the course of the day. So that can have a slightly negative impact as well on your napping dynamic. So again, I would be encouraging to maybe look towards regulating and having what I describe as being a feeding and sleeping balance to the day, which obviously you can establish by using my book, The Baby Sleep Solution. Again, another key reason for short nap durations is that your baby has not yet got the skills to settle themselves, and as a result of that, you're holding them, rocking them, rolling them to get them to either go sleep at bedtime and for the daytime sleeps, and this sometimes can stop their ability to stitch the nap together. So again, for me, I'm always looking for you to ensure that your baby has that skill set at bedtime. And very often the skill set is not as established as you would like it to be. And often we have unsettled nights which lead to short naps by day. So again, we really need to look at maybe replacing what you currently do with the stay and support approach, and then phasing you out of the process, so that we are clear that your baby can put themselves to sleep at bedtime, which then we can also feed into the daytime so that they can put themselves to sleep for the nap, which opens up the channels for them to stay asleep longer during the nap. Again, I often blame biology. Again, I talk about nap rhythms not being established until at least 6 months of age. And then there are a percentage of children, obviously, that they're just short nappers by design. First of all, I work through the plan, and then I start to get you to, ensure your room is super dark, your baby can put themselves to sleep for the nap. If you're about 2 weeks doing that and your naps are still quite short, I then sometimes do a little bit of mid-nap work, where when they wake too soon, so maybe under the 40 minutes or under the hour depending, I then would again use the stay and support approach. And I tried to do that for about 7 days, and I see how I got a success ratio. And the success ratio for me would be sometimes they don't return to sleep, but after a couple of days the nap just naturally starts to get longer. So sometimes it's all about the effort and not about the immediate result, and then we can sometimes see those naps get a little bit longer. So look, I hope that's been helpful to you. I'll post on my website some more information on this. That's sleepmatters.ie. And you can buy my book on my website too, This Baby Sleep Solution, and all good bookstores as well. And I would love to know how you're getting on with your daytime sleep. All the best for now.